Thanks for joining me again. As promised, I'm going to go over some of the things that I found. I still have some emails, things like that we exchanged. But I also found a stack of little cards and, some of these little cards you get with flowers, that kind of stuff. I had them in my closet. They were all together in a little stack off to the side there. And when I left my house, my old house, when the house that he's living in now, when I left there, I grabbed everything that I felt was important, documents, birth certificates, that kind of thing. And this stack of papers had other stuff in it that was, important, pertinent, whatever. And so all of these cards were in a large envelope together, and I still have them. And some people might think, why would you want those? Well, I'm glad I held on to them because they're going to make for some good reading today. And I get to share his lies. So one of the first things I came across, and I've misplaced it now, was an email. Please hold. I'm back. So this was a couple of years ago, and my daughter was already living in New York. We had some big blow up there. I remember not feeling well. I don't remember what was going on. Physically, I was a mess. He left me in the subway. Just left me stranded in the subway, took off to the airport. I don't even remember the details. That's what he did. I mean, you just don't do that in New York City. You don't do it anywhere, but that's the type of person he was. And so when I got back, I sent him an email, I think the next morning, next day, whatever it was. I'll give you little bits and pieces. I told him, I'm here wide awake, back home, feeling completely alone. I should have stayed in New York City. In a city so big with so many people that I don't even know, it doesn't feel like this. It's no wonder I sleep better in any other bed besides ours. It's lonely for me. It basically always has been. As soon as I get in it, it is a reminder of that loneliness. I'm sure we'll remain in silence for days. It's so great to be here. Someone who's married should never feel this alone. I've spent far too much time like this. What I meant was about sleeping in another bed. I would go sometimes and sleep in my daughter's room. I would go and sleep in our guest room. And it didn't occur to me, just like you don't realize you're with a narcissist until, sometimes you don't, until you're out of it. It didn't occur to me until much later on that when I would sleep in those other rooms, I slept like a baby. I slept so soundly. I got up feeling rested. And when I finally recognized that and I put two and two together, I realized it was because I was so preoccupied with him laying next to me and feeling so alone and ignored and abandoned and just like a nobody that I didn't sleep soundly. I was miserable. This email's dated October 2014. So we're going way back here, and so he goes on with his part, with his response to part of this is a bunch of, a lot of it's just BS, but here he comes with the good part, saying that, oh, here come the excuses. I'm fighting off a bug. There was always something wrong with him. I'm fairly certain he's a hypochondriac. Fighting off a bug. Sorry, I don't have time to concentrate on my loneliness. I'm the one that provides for my wife and family and this and that and the other thing. That's so patronizing. I worked. I contributed to our household. I ran a business. And the first thing he would do, what I felt he was doing, was mocking me for sharing my feelings, for sharing what I had going on inside. I'm sorry, I don't have time to concentrate on my loneliness. Are you kidding me? It's absurd. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of these things. So I'm going to flip through a couple of these cards because it gets really good. So this was some car, it looks like an anniversary thing. So he must have sent me flowers. And happy anniversary. And then on the back, I have some pride issues. I have no doubt you and I can fix what's broken. Really? That was an anniversary card. Here's another one. I still have hope for us and hope for you in dealing with the cards that life has dealt you. So he knew that I was dealing with a lot. He knew I was juggling with a lot, and he still didn't make it easy for me. Please keep smiling. Really? Yeah. Here's another one. I feel really bad about you being sick and the position that we are in emotionally. I need to nurse you back to health, both physically and emotionally. I will always love and care for you deeply. It's like he would acknowledge it just to give me a little pat on the head and make me think, oh, that this is it. This is where it turns around. Here's another one. I must have been sick. It's no wonder I was sick all the time. I was under so much stress. So much stress. The last year that we were together, I got a really awful, like 10-day long awful flu that put me in bed 2 different times. I've never been sick like that. And in that last year, I was getting really, really bad. I hope you heal quickly and your pain goes away ASAP. Give me another chance. With a little sad face. He's sad, all right. Let's see. Here's another one. We can come together and strengthen our relationship. I know we can do this. It's going to be a lot of work. Yeah, no kidding. I've been doing it for years. But I'm in it 100%. Really? Please consider this a new beginning and hopefully our bond will grow and be stronger than ever. I apologize for making you feel like you do. And then he'd turn right around the next week and do it again. As you can tell, reading those things evokes a lot of anger, evokes a lot of frustration, because it was all lies. It was all lies. And I just bought them over and over and over again. He would say things and I'd say, okay, he means it this time. He's going to do it this time. We're going to get through it this time. And I was stupid enough to think that he would match my efforts. And he never did. He could be decent at best for about a week, maybe a week. And that was it. And I'd say, boy, you just can't do it, can you? You can't be a decent person. It kills you. It like pained him to be a good person. And inevitably it would blow up because he would be a jerk to the kids. He'd say or do something that was just appalling to me. And I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand that way of behaving. I couldn't understand how you treat your kids like that, how you talk to them that way. I just couldn't relate to it. I had the most loving father anybody could ever have. He never demeaned me. He never embarrassed me. He never belittled me. My mom's another story. She's a completely different story. And I'm dealing with that now. Because she's a narcissist. And I read these things and it's so upsetting and it's so frustrating and it's just something you have to deal with and you have to overcome, and it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder of how much he lied. And he hated it when I finally came out and said, you know what, you're a liar. He was so offended that I called him a liar. And I had to explain to him that he said these things, wrote these things, said, oh, no, give me a shot. You know, we'll fix it. I'll make it better. And he didn't. To me, that's lying. I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that. But if you say you're going to do something, you should do it. That goes back to him not being a man of his word. He's a liar. He is a liar. He's fake. He's a fraud. He's insecure. And he will always be miserable. And I'm left to deal with the damage that he's caused. Because that's what this is. This is damage. This is damage from a narcissist. And now I have to deal with the damage that my mom caused prior to him. And that's probably why I didn't see anything wrong with it, because I was like used to it. I'd become accustomed to somebody making me feel like that. It's just wrong. It's just wrong to intentionally try to make somebody feel bad. How do you do that? I don't get that. I can't relate to it. But slowly but surely, I'm gonna get past this. Slowly but surely, he's gonna become even smaller. As time goes by, it's like the distance becomes greater. And with that distance, he's just shrinking. He's just shrinking. He's already a small person. But I just have to work on that distance mentally and emotionally more than anything else. And pretty soon, he just won't exist. He just won't exist. And I will be very happy about that, because I don't need somebody like that to exist in my life. I have to deal with him throughout these proceedings. I got to deal with this, and I'm working on that. I'm working on some ways to overcome the frustration and the bad feelings that having to deal with him or his attorney or whatever evokes. And I've come up with a few solutions, I think. But you see what this does. You know, I haven't seen this in a long time. I haven't read it in, I don't know, probably since he gave them to me, because it's not something that I treasure. It's not something that I want to reread and you know, kept close to my heart. It was just like I read it and I'm like, okay, here we go again. So I'm sharing them so that you can hear it. I'm sharing them so that maybe there's something in there that you'll hear, that you'll recognize, so that you understand they don't change, so that you understand this is all just, they're just buying time. They don't change. They don't get any better. It's only going to get worse. It will only get worse, guaranteed. And so you need to hear it. That's why I'm sharing it. It's painful. It's aggravating. It's frustrating. It's hurtful, you know, on a strange level, because I don't care about him at all. I have no feelings for him. I think it's the frustration that gets me, the anger and the frustration, hearing it all, going over it and rehashing it. But I suppose doing it this way is better than some alternatives, I guess. Can't take it out on him. So I will share more and talk about some other topics, talk about some other things in my next video. I'll let you know what I've changed in the last week or so since all of this craziness with the attorneys, and how I've come to find that I can handle this. I'll share how I'm practicing separating myself from this emotionally to try to protect myself a little bit more and not let it ruin my days, ruin my week, and let it seep into the good life that I have now. I have a very good life now, and I have to control it. I have to put a stop to them bleeding into what's good and poisoning. They're like poison. Narcissists are like poison. It's just, it's awful. So I'm working on that, and I will share it in my next video. Please, you know, don't forget to comment, send me a message, you know, go to my Facebook page, whatever's most convenient. But your feedback is critical. Your comments are really important to me, and they help me greatly. So keep watching, and I'll be sharing some of that in the next video. Thank you.